Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nadiyah Mafazatin Nailiyah. In this opportunity, I would like to present my thesis proposal. The title of my thesis proposal is The Students' Acceptance of LMS Platforms in English Education Department, State Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. The first chapter is introduction. This chapter divided into 6 subheadings. There are research background, research questions, the objective of the research, significance of the research, scope and limitation, and the last is definition of kittens. The first one is research background. Many recent studies have focused on adapting learning management systems, platforms for language teaching and learning. LMS platform may help and facilitate both educators and learners in teaching and learning English language classroom with the features that have provided. Almost of the platforms that used showed positive responses from the teacher and the students because they bring good impacts. But this case needs to further investigation to evaluate which one that the almost of the students need and prefer. The objective of the study is to analyze what kind of LMS platform that used by English education students in WINSA, the acceptance of those platforms for direct, indirect, or blended teaching and learning process, and the last is to investigate which platforms that they prefer. This study will be conducted on English education of the State Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. The second one is research questions. The research question for this study are, for the first, what kinds of LMS platforms which our students use. The second is how the use of each platform. The third is how the students' acceptance of the LMS platforms that they used. The third are the objectives of the research. The first one is to identify the kinds of LMS platforms which our students use. The second is to investigate the use of each platform. The third is to investigate the students' acceptance of the LMS platforms the English Education Department students use at State Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. We move to the significance of this research. The significance of this research divided into two. The first one is theoretical significance and the second one is practical significance. For the theoretical significance, there are two. The first one is the result of this research may give the information about the LMS platform the students English Education Department students at State Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya like most. And the second one is the result of this research may be used as a reference to the other researchers who will conduct a research about related or the same topic, such as the implementation of LMS or the acceptance of LMS in different level, and etc. For the practical significance, there are also two. For the first one is the result of this research will give the information to the lecturers of English Education Department, State Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya about the students' acceptance of LMS platform that the lecturer applied in a class. The second one is the result of this research will give the lecturers of English Education Department, State Islamic University of Sunan Ampel idea what LMS platform that they should use if the rating of the LMS platform that they applied is low. The next one is the scope of the study. The scope of study are two. The first one is this investigation is conducted to identify the students' acceptance of some platforms that they used in some classes in English Education Department of Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. The second one is the aspects looked into were tools in those platforms. Facilitation, features, problems of the platforms, and the best tools in each platform. For the limitation of this study is this study will take the English Education Department of Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya students were already or still through some classes using some platforms in their classes as participants. The possible participants that experience are the 5th and the 7th semester English Education Department students. We move to the definition of key terms. Some important terms in this study are the student's perception related to the student's acceptance, a learning, and learning management system, or we can say it LMS. For the first one is perception. Perception is some identification, corporation, and the description of the impression in order to figure a psychological illustration. In this study, perception defined as a psychological image of English Education Department of Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya students associated the acceptance of LMS platforms that they used. It's by Daniel L. Scatter, Gilbert, and Wagner. The next one is e-learning. E-learning accepted as a smarter media in learning and teaching process with applying the modern communication and information using computer network, which makes us easier to get knowledge without time and space limitation. In this investigation, e-learning is the use of platforms itself in the teaching and learning process in English Education Department of Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya classes. And then the last one is LMS. LMS explained as web-based system and as a software application used for planning, implementing, and assessing learning process. In the study, LMS is the web-based system that almost of the lectures in English Education Department of Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya are used in their teaching and learning process by exploring and utilizing the tools in those platforms. Okay, we move to the second chapter, the method. This chapter talks about the procedures of conduct the study. It consists of research design, population and sample, research instrument, data collection techniques, and data analysis technique. The first one is research design. The design of this research is called survey research. Survey is the method of acquiring the extensive total data. It usually in a statistical form that takes in the form of self-completion, questionnaire, and interview. It aims to get the valid information about the acceptance of the students about kinds of LMS that they used. The study focused on the students' acceptance of kinds of LMS that they use, and the analyzed and classified data will describe in the written form as a result of the research and make the reader easy to understand And then we move to the population and sample. It will be purposive sampling. And the second, this research will be involved the 5th and 7th semester English Education Department students at Islamic University of Sunan, Surabaya. The most significant thing is the students that participate should be experienced in using kinds of LMS. It will take the 5th and 7th semester students because they more experienced in using kinds of LMS. We move to the research instrument. The first question is to investigate what kind of LMS that they used. The second question is to identify the use of platforms, while the last question is the students' acceptance of those LMS. To answer those three questions, the researcher use questionnaire and do interview as a research instrument. It will be provided by closed and open-ended questions for the questionnaire. The closed-ended questions consist of 5 scales: strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. We move to the data collection technique. For the data collection technique, for the first, we have to arrange the instrument of research to collect the data, and then making the questionnaire. It integrates open-ended and closed-ended questions, and then making question for interview, checking the questionnaire and the interview questions list into the expert in this area, and then distributing the questionnaire and doing interview. After the data collected, the researcher analyzing and classifying the data and explain descriptively. And the last is making a conclusion as a result. The last is data analysis techniques. Data analysis consists of gathering, designing, and reconstructing the data, suggesting conclusion, and supporting the decision maker. For the first, the data collected will be analyzed and classified based on LMS platform. And the second one is the data will calculate using SPSS to get the statistical data. All the analyzed data will explain descriptively, and the last conclusion will be provided as a result. Thank you for your good attention. I am Nadiyah Mafazatin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.